Welcome to Bible Quizzes. Today's quiz is all about the Old Testament. Are you ready? Let's begin. Round 1. True or false? 1 point each. 1. Joseph was very handsome. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. Genesis 39:6. Thus he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. 2. Rachel was envious of Leah. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. Genesis 31. Now when Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said to Jacob, "Give me children or else I die." 3. Shechem hated Dinah after he violated her. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. Genesis 34, 2-3. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and violated her. His soul was strongly attracted to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the young woman. 4. Amnon loved Tamar more after he violated her. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. 2 Samuel 13:15. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred with which he hated her was greater than the love with which he had loved her. And Amnon said to her, "Arise, be gone." 5. Absalom slept with his father's concubines secretly. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. 2 Samuel 16:22. So they pitched a tent for Absalom on the top of the house, and Absalom went in to his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. 6. Uriah delivered a letter that contained a plot to kill him. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 2 Samuel 11:14-15. In the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter saying, "Set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retreat from him that he may be struck down and die." 7. David preferred to fall in the judgment of God rather than people. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 2 Samuel 24:14. And David said to God, "I am in great distress. Please let us fall into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, but do not let me fall into the hand of man." 8. Besides wisdom, Solomon asked God for great riches. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. 1 Kings 3:11. Then God said to him, "Because you have asked this, and have not asked long life for yourself, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have asked the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern justice." 9. Solomon's dominion extended beyond Israel. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 1 Kings 4:21. So Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river to the land of the Philistines, as far as the border of Egypt. They brought tribute and served Solomon all the days of his life. 10. King Nebuchadnezzar wanted to kill the wise men because they couldn't interpret his dream. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. Daniel 2:12-13. The king was angry and very furious and gave the command to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. So the decree went out, and they began killing the wise men, and they sought Daniel and his companions to kill them. 11. God swore not to forgive Eli and his sons. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 1 Samuel 3:14. And therefore I have sworn to the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be atoned for by sacrifice or offering forever. 12. Elkanah loved Peninnah more than Hannah. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. 1 Samuel 1 4-5. And whenever the time came for Elkanah to make an offering, he would give portions to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and daughters, but to Hannah he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah. 13. Queen Esther was an orphan. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. Esther 2:7. And Mordecai had brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. The young woman was lovely and beautiful. 14. Jonathan denied David's claim that Saul wanted to kill him. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 1 Samuel 22. So Jonathan said to him, By no means, you shall not die. Indeed, my father will do nothing either great or small without first telling me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so. 15. Saul exiled the mediums and spiritists from Israel. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 1 Samuel 28:3. Now Samuel had died, and all Israel had lamented for him and buried him in Ramah in his own city. And Saul had put the mediums and the spiritists out of the land. 16. God denied Satan power over all that Job had. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. Job 1:12. And the Lord said to Satan, Behold, all that he has is in your power, only do not lay a hand on his person. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. 17. Abner, the commander of Saul's army, made a covenant with David to make him king. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 2 Samuel 3:12. Then Abner sent messengers on his behalf to David, saying, Whose is the land? Saying also, Make your covenant with me, and indeed my hand shall be with you, to bring all Israel to you. 18. God promised to give Israel peace and quietness during the reign of Solomon. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 1 Chronicles 22:9. Behold, a son shall be born to you, who shall be a man of rest, and I will give him rest from all his enemies all around. His name shall be Solomon, for I will give peace and quietness to Israel in his days. 19. Solomon designed the plan of the temple. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. 1 Chronicles 28:11-12. Then David gave his son Solomon the plans for the vestibule, its houses, its treasuries, its upper chambers, its inner chambers, and the place of the mercy seat, and the plans for all that he had by the Spirit. 20. During the reign of Solomon, the tabernacle of Moses was located at Gibeon. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. 2 Chronicles 1:3. Then Solomon and all the assembly with him went to the high place that was at Gibeon, for the tabernacle of meeting with God was there, which Moses the servant of the Lord had made in the wilderness. And that ends round 1. Round 2, multiple choice, 2 points each. Let's begin. 21. Who advised Amnon to make a move on Tamar? Jonadab, Absalom, Ahithophel, David. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Jonadab. 2 Samuel 13:5. So Jonadab said to him, "Lie down on your bed and pretend to be ill, and when your father comes to see you, say to him, 'Please let my sister Tamar come and give me food, and prepare the food in my sight that I may see it and eat.'" 22. Why did Absalom hate Amnon and plot to kill him? Amnon insulted Absalom. Amnon took Absalom's land. Amnon forced Absalom's sister. Amnon betrayed David. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Amnon forced Absalom's sister. 2 Samuel 13:22. And Absalom spoke to his brother Amnon neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar. 23. Who advised Absalom to lay with his father's concubines? Jonadab, Joab, Ahithophel, Solomon. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Ahithophel. 2 Samuel 16:21. And Ahithophel said to Absalom, "Go into your father's concubines whom he has left to keep the house, and all Israel will hear that you are abhorred by your father. Then the hands of all who are with you will be strong." 24. What was Bathsheba doing when David spotted her? Praying, bathing, cooking, sleeping. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is bathing. 2 Samuel 11:2-3. One evening that David arose from his bed and walked on the roof of the king's house, and he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful. So David inquired about the woman. 25. How many people died in the plague God sent because David numbered the people? 10,000, 23,000, 70,000, 50,000. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 70,000. 2 Samuel 24:15. So the Lord sent a plague upon Israel from the morning till the appointed time. From Dan to Beersheba, 70,000 men of the people died. 26. Who among David's sons were killed by their brothers? Absalom and Amnon, Solomon and Adonijah, Absalom and Solomon, Adonijah and Amnon. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Adonijah and Amnon. Adonijah, David's son, was killed by Solomon as recorded in 1 Kings 2:25. Amnon, David's son, was killed by Absalom, his half-brother, as recorded in 2 Samuel 13:28-32. 27. How many burnt offerings did Solomon offer before God appeared to him that night? 500, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 1,000. 1 Kings 3:4-5. Now the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was a great high place. Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God. 28. How many governors did Solomon set over Israel? 10, 12, 20, 70. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 12. 1 Kings 4:7. And Solomon had 12 governors over all Israel, who provided food for the king and his household. Each one made provision for 1 month of the year. 29. Besides Proverbs, how many songs did Solomon write? 1005, 3000, 1500, 1050. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 1005. 1 Kings 4:32. He spoke 3000 proverbs and his songs were 1005. 30. How many horsemen did Solomon have? 4,000, 50,000, 12,000, 10,000. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 12,000. 1 Kings 4:26. Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots and 12,000 horsemen. 31. Where did Solomon get cedar to build the temple? Lebanon, Egypt, Syria, Jordan. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Lebanon. 1 Kings 5:5-6. And behold, I propose to build a house for the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spoke to my father David. Now therefore command that they cut down cedars for me from Lebanon. 32. How many years did Solomon take to build the temple? 14, 7, 52, 13. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 7. 1 Kings 6:38. And in the 11th year, in the month of Bul, which is the 8th month, the house was finished in all its details and according to all its plans. So he was 7 years in building it. 33. How many sheep did Solomon offer for burnt offerings during the dedication of the temple? 100,000, 130,000, 150,000, 120,000. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 120,000. 1 Kings 8:63. Solomon offered a sacrifice of peace offerings, which he offered to the Lord, 22,000 bulls and 120,000 sheep. So the king and all the children of Israel dedicated the house of the Lord. 34. Daniel was from which tribe? Ephraim, Judah, Dan, Benjamin. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Judah, Daniel 1:6. Now from among those of the sons of Judah were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. 35. For how long were Daniel and his friends to be trained before they could serve the king? 1 year, 1 month, 3 months, 3 years. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 3 years. Daniel 1:5-6. And the king appointed for them a daily provision of the king's delicacies and of the wine which he drank, and 3 years of training for them, so that at the end of that time they might serve before the king. 36. What did Daniel and his friends eat in Babylon? Meat and wine, bread and water, vegetables and water, fruits only. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is vegetables and water. Daniel 1:11-12. So Daniel said to the steward, for whom the chief of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, Please test your servants for 10 days, and let them give us vegetables to eat and water to drink. 37. What was the nature of the spirit that was upon Daniel? Excellent spirit, spirit of prophecy, spirit of wisdom, spirit of power. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is excellent spirit. Daniel 6:3. Then this Daniel distinguished himself above the governors and satraps because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king gave thought to setting him over the whole realm. 38. Why did the lions spare Daniel? Daniel fed them. An angel shut their mouths. The lions were afraid of Daniel. The lions were not hungry. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is an angel shut their mouths. Daniel 6:22. My God sent his angel and shut the lion's mouth so that they have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him. And also, O king, I have done no wrong before you. 39. What was the nationality of King Cyrus? Egyptian, Persian, Babylonian, Mede. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Persian. Daniel 6:28. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. 40. How many times did God call out to Samuel before Eli realized that it was God calling him? 1 time, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 3 times. 1 Samuel 3:8. And the Lord called Samuel again the third time. So he arose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for you did call me. Then Eli perceived that the Lord had called the boy. 41. Who were the 2 sons of Samuel? Nadab and Abihu, Joel and Abijah, Eleazar and Ithamar, Hophni and Phinehas. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Joel and Abijah. 1 Samuel 8:1-2. Now it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. The name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second Abijah. They were judges in Beersheba. 42. Who among the kings of Israel prophesied while naked? David, Jeroboam, Saul, Solomon. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Saul, 1 Samuel 19:24. And he also stripped off his clothes and prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and lay down naked all that day and all that night. Therefore they say, Is Saul also among the prophets? 43. How long did David stay in the land of the Philistines while seeking asylum? 1 year and 4 months, 3 years and 6 months, 1 year and 6 months, 2 years and 6 months. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 1 year and 4 months. 1 Samuel 27:7. Now the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was 1 full year and 4 months. 44. Who prophesied about God sending the former and latter rain? Jeremiah, Isaiah, Amos, Joel. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Joel. Joel 2:23. Be glad then, you children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given you the former rain faithfully, and he will cause the rain to come down for you, the former rain and the latter rain in the first month. 45. What does Joel say the old man will experience when the Lord pours his spirit on all flesh? Prophesy, see visions, dream dreams, sing songs. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is dream dreams, Joel 2:28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old man shall dream dreams, your young man shall see visions. 46. What does Joel say will happen to the sun before the great day of the Lord? Turn into blood, turn into darkness, turn into fire, turn into light. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is turn into darkness. Joel 2:31. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. 47. Fill in the blank. It shall come to pass that whoever calls the name of the Lord shall be blank. Saved, rewarded, blessed, forgiven. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is saved. Joel 2:32. And it shall come to pass that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, among the remnant whom the Lord calls. 48. What was King Darius's nationality? Assyrian, Babylonian, Mede, Persian. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Mede. Daniel 9:1. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus of the lineage of the Medes, who was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans. 49. Where was Daniel when he saw the vision of the men clothed in linen with a body like beryl? By the river Tigris, by the river Euphrates, by the rivers of Babylon, by the river Jordan. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is by the river Tigris. Daniel 10:4-5. Now on the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river that is the Tigris, I lifted my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man, clothed in linen, whose waist was girded with gold of Uphaz. 50. Which principality withstood Gabriel en route to bring a message to Daniel? Prince of Babylon, Prince of Persia, Prince of Greece, Prince of Egypt. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Prince of Persia, Daniel 10:13. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, and behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I had been left alone there with the kings of Persia. 51. In Daniel's vision, how many beasts did Daniel see coming out from the sea? 3, 4, 2, 6. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 4. Daniel 7:2-3. Daniel spoke, saying, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven were stirring up the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, each different from the other. 52. What was the appearance of the first beast according to Daniel's vision? A lion, a leopard, a bear, a dragon. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a lion. Daniel 7:4. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I watched till its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted up from the earth and made to stand on 2 feet like a man, and a man's heart was given to it. 53. Which group of people conspired against Daniel to be thrown in the lion's den? Soldiers, priests, magicians, governors, and satraps. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is governors and satraps. Daniel 6:4. So the governors and satraps sought to find some charge against Daniel concerning the kingdom. Then these men said, We shall not find any charge against this Daniel unless we find it against him concerning the law of his God. 54. Where did Job live? Ur, Nod, Uz, Tob. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Uz. Job 1:1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless and upright, and one who feared God and shunned evil. 55. During which occasion did Satan appear before God to instigate attacks on Job? when the sons of God came before the Lord, during the hour of incense, during the general assembly, when there was war in heaven. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is when the sons of God came before the Lord. Job 1:6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. 56. Which judge had 30 sons who rode on 30 donkeys? Gideon, Jair, Samson, Jephthah. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Jair. Judges 10:3-4. After him arose Jair, a Gileadite, and he judged Israel 22 years. Now he had 30 sons who rode on 30 donkeys. They also had 30 towns, which are called Havoth Jair to this day, which are in the land of Gilead. 57. What did Samson use to kill 1,000 Philistines? Sword, jawbone of a donkey, spear, sling and stone. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is jawbone of a donkey. Judges 15:15. He found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, reached out his hand and took it, and killed 1,000 men with it. Then Samson said, with the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps. 58. What was the name of Samson's father? Amram, Elikana, Manoah, Jesse. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Manoah. Judges 13 records the birth of Samson as announced by an angel to his father Manoah. 59. Where did Satan say he was from as he stood before God to instigate attacks on Job? From the pits of hell, from the depths of the sea, from the wilderness, from wandering on the earth. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is from wandering on the earth. Job 1:7. And the Lord said to Satan, from where do you come? So Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it. 60. What did Satan claim was the reason behind Job's love for God? Because Job feared punishment. Because Job was naturally righteous. Because of Job's upbringing. Because of God's blessing and protection. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is because of God's blessing and protection. Job 1:9-10. So Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands. And that ends round 2. Round 3, short answer, 3 points each. Let's begin. 61. Where were Job's children when disaster came upon them, killing them? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is in their oldest brother's house. Job 1:13. Now there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. 62. Which disaster killed Job's children? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a great wind struck the house. Job 1:18-19. Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, and suddenly a great wind came from the wilderness and struck the four corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they are dead. 63. What was Job's reaction when he was told of all his losses? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is he tore his clothes and worshipped God. Job 1:20-21. Then Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and worshipped. And he said, Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. 64. What did Satan say would happen if God allowed Job's health to be affected? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Job would curse God to his face. Job 2:4-5. So Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin. Yes, all that a man has he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will surely curse you to your face. 65. Who understood by the books that the Babylonian captivity was to last 70 years? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Daniel. Daniel 9:2. In the first sight of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by the books the number of the years specified by the word of the Lord through Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. 66. Which king gave a decree regarding the rebuilding of the temple? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Cyrus. Ezra 1:2. Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth the Lord God of heaven has given me, and he has commanded me to build him a house of Jerusalem, which is in Judah. 67. Where had Nebuchadnezzar put the articles of the temple which he took from Jerusalem? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is in the temple of his gods. Ezra 1:7. King Cyrus also brought out the articles of the house of the Lord, which Nebuchadnezzar had taken from Jerusalem and put in the temple of his gods. 68. What did David do to the messenger who told him of Saul's death? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is he arrested and executed him. 2 Samuel 4:10. When someone told me, saying, Look, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good news, I arrested him and had him executed in Ziklag, the one who thought I would give him a reward for his news. 69. To which king of Israel did all the tribes say, We are your bone and flesh? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is David. 2 Samuel 5:1. Then all the tribes of Israel came to David at Hebron and spoke, saying, Indeed, we are your bone and your flesh. 70. Which city did David take as his stronghold? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Zion, the city of David. 2 Samuel 5:7. Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion, that is, the city of David. 71. On which threshing floor was Uzzah killed for touching the Ark of the Covenant? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Naton's or Kidon's threshing floor. It was at Naton's or Kidon's threshing floor. 2 Samuel 6:6 calls it Naton's threshing floor, while 1 Chronicles 13:9 calls it Kidon's threshing floor. 72. What was David's reaction when God killed Uzzah? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is David was angry and afraid of God. 2 Samuel 6:8. And David became angry because of the Lord's outbreak against Uzzah, and he called the name of the place Perez Uzzah to this day. David was afraid of the Lord that day, and he said, How can the ark of the Lord come to me? 73. To whose house did David take the ark after the Uzzah incident? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. 2 Samuel 6:11. The ark of the Lord remained in the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite 3 months, and the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his household. 74. What was Daniel's name changed to in Babylon? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Belteshazzar. Daniel 1:7. To them, the chief of the eunuchs gave names. He gave Daniel the name Belteshazzar, to Hananiah, Shadrach, to Mishael, Meshach, and to Azariah, Abednego. 75. How many times did Delilah say Samson had mocked her by lying about his strength? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 3 times. Judges 16:15. Then she said to him, "How can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me by this 3 times and have not told me where your great strength lies." 76. How many locks of hair did Samson have on his head? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 7 locks. Judges 16:19. Then she lulled him to sleep on her knees and called for a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. Then she began to torment him and his strength left him. 77. What occupation was Samson given in prison? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a grinder. Judges 16:21. Then the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza. They bound him with bronze fetters and he became a grinder in the prison. 78. Samson was from which tribe of Israel? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is the tribe of Dan. Judges 13:2. Now there was a certain man from Zara, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had no children. 79. How many times did Elijah pray for the rains before a cloud appeared? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 7 times. 1 Kings 18:44. Then it came to pass the 7th time that he said, "There is a cloud as small as a man's hand rising out of the sea." So he said, "Go up, say to Ahab, prepare your chariot and go down before the rain stops you." And 80. How many people did God say had not bowed to Baal during Elijah's time? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 7,000. 1 Kings 19:17. It shall be that whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, Jehu will kill, and whoever escapes the sword of Jehu, Elisha will kill. Yet I have reserved 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed to Baal. Well, that's all the questions we have for you today. How well did you do? Tally your score and post in the comments. Don't forget to share this quiz with your friends and family. See you in the next one. God bless.